What's up, family? I'm Real Mike Rob. Make sure you tuning in to the 3-point conversion radio. They got all of it, and they keep it funky. Let's get it.
What up, what up, what up? It's your man, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? And I got my guy to the right of me, my guy Mace. What up, Mace?
Now, sad day, man. All my parlays just college football don't like me, dog. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm with you, dog.
It's okay.
First of all, Happy New Year, brother.
Man, Happy New Year to you, my brother. 2025, baby. We up. Let's go 2025. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year to everyone else who's watching or who's gonna be listening to the podcast. Yeah, we in here, man. How you celebrate, bro?
Sleep. I will sleep once the New Year kicked in. Told everybody Happy New Year. I was knocked out. I was knocked out.
I feel you, dog. I honestly speaking, I was watching that game last night, whack game last night, and then I ain't gonna say it was whack, but watching that game,
it was a pretty good game.
Yeah, that's what I said. I ain't gonna say it was whack.
Yeah.
I was watching that game and then played my daughters. After that, bro, like you said, I didn't go to sleep. I was trying to figure out stuff I was gonna do for the Super Bowl, the shoes and all of that crap, and you know how that goes. So yeah, I did that. But yeah, man, glad to be here, bro. Definitely glad to be here, and got a lot to get to, bro. It's funny because we weren't gonna do this show, but because due to circumstances, we are doing the show. And I don't mean it is circumstances because what happened.
Yeah,
bad. But on most part, yeah, it wasn't like we didn't want to do it. You know, we probably would have ended up doing it anyway, which is that playoff game. But
that thing going, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So we are talking. We definitely got to talk about college football, of course. Definitely got to talk about that. But and how it's going, and just I don't know. Just is this what we expected and everything? But also, we are talking Saquon. The news came out that Saquon won't be playing this weekend against the Giants for a chance to break the single season rushing record. So that's not happening.
Yeah.
So but we'll get into that. Also, even with the NFL, we got to talk about MVP race too. MVP race, and we got to talk about the Falcons. Big game Sunday night. I'm sure Mace, I know you've talked about it all week, but I'm sure you got some things to say because some people probably hadn't heard you talk about it yet. I got to get my stuff out. I haven't said anything about it really. But and I got to tell you what happened as far as the press conference on Monday, what he said. So that was very interesting. But also, we got to talk about the NBA as far as first the Hawks. You know, the Hawks has been playing pretty well. Just want to know if we believe in them? Are they believable right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I use the word now versus what we saw maybe a week or 2 weeks ago. We was kind of like, okay, the Hawks playing good, but right now, do we believe in them? We'll get into that. And then I got a very interesting question towards the end of the show. You know how we like to do it. We like to have fun. We're going to talk about an event or certain sporting events that we weren't able to be there or be alive to watch it, or old enough to understand it.
Right.
So those events, we're going to talk about those events that if we had a chance, we wish we could have been there at that time to watch that. Any sporting event, any history making or what have you, whether it was good, controversial, or whatever. So that's going to be fun. Then we got Dr. Fowler coming in with quick hits. I mean, not quick hits, I'm sorry. But with the injury report, man, it's playoffs coming in. So it's a lot of stuff to get into, find out who's going to play, who's not going to play. And then we got NFL picks. We got quick hits. What's on my mind today, and we got stop it segment. So hey y'all, you can check out the show on the 3 Point Conversion Facebook channel and 3 Point Conversion YouTube channel. We're going to get it going on the 3 Point Conversion not email, but 3pointconversion.com. So that page as well. So hey man, time to get to these quick hits. Let's get it. And first off, tragic news. Witness that happened last night or this morning. I'm going to say it, but it was horrible, man. I woke up to it and not even knowing what happened. But once I saw it, it was like, man, hate that it happened. If you don't know, Sugar Bowl has been canceled due to the unfortunate tragic incident that happened in New Orleans on Bourbon Street involving a man running into a gang of people with his truck, killed 10 people. Then he got out shooting, and heard that he got a shootout with some cops. And I think 5 other people died there, saying it's been reported.
Yeah, they had to take him on down.
Yeah, so just hate to see that and hate to hear about that. But because of that, they postponed the game. So now the game will be at 4:00 Eastern time tomorrow evening, which and we all feel horrible about that situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to give it. First of all, our condolences to the families, but other than that, I don't even want to give it any time, because it's probably what he was set out to do. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to ask you though, bruh, for the people who have to work, this sucks.
Yeah, man. I mean, travel plans, I mean, everything. So, I mean, I got like 3 partners who down there now, and they were planning to take the first thing out of New Orleans, smoking.
Wow, right.
And now they got to, I mean, they spent money, got to get an extra day for the hotel. I mean, it puts a monkey wrench in all your plans,
Right.
So I can't wait to hear their stories on how they had to spend an extra day, or now that the game and I mean, it's gonna take something out of the game, because I mean, everybody was so excited for a late kickoff. On Bourbon Street, been drinking all day. So by the time you follow the stadium, I mean, you just right. So I mean, it's gonna be a different type atmosphere, different type energy to the game tomorrow. So I'm gonna kind of be intrigued to see which team can use this extra day. Which team can just come in and still understand we got to take care of business. We know what happened. I mean, it's the 24-hour news cycle. Everybody's hearing about it. They said one of the Georgia students was killed, and another Georgia student was injured. So I mean, you don't know who know these kids. So I mean, it's just both coaches are gonna have to really get their guys locked in, dialed in. So I mean, it's just crazy times we in, dog. Crazy times.
Man. And just real quick, like you stated, and again, we're sensitive to families, people that passed, but just talking about the sport at this point, it's like you gotta, it's a tough situation. Who's going, again, like you said, some is reported some Georgia student might have passed, got hurt, but not just that, but just when something like that is on your mind, for the player, we never look at it for the players because as consumers, as far as watching the game and everything, and the world and New Orleans, this is going to be a Band-Aid. The game is going to be a Band-Aid for what happened, because it takes your mind off of what happened for them 3 hours.
Right.
With entertainment. But we never look at the side of the people who has to entertain us. They got to go through this as well.
Oh, no doubt about it.
So
No doubt about it.
To get their minds ready and to be, all right, let's go. I would never forget it. And of course, we weren't playing sports, so I know it's much harder. But I had a taste of it when Kobe passed. And we drove the Super Bowl that night. We drove to Miami that night. And the next day we had to be on Radio Row. And the first 2 days, it was just like, it was hard to get, because it was our job. It was our job to take everybody else's mind. That's how we felt. Let's take their mind off this, man. We got to entertain. But it was just like, we had to get up for it. We had to, who was that person or player or whatever to get our minds off of. So who's doing that for them? So these kids too, man. It ain't like they're adults. These are kids.
Kids.
Yeah, man. So again, our condolences go out to the loved ones who had their loved ones pass. So man. Moving on a great note, I guess, and I wasn't shocking note for me. Bryce James commits to Arizona. I didn't see that coming, Mace. Not Arizona.
I mean, if you kind of follow his Instagram, there was a lot of hints.
Right.
Lot of hints about Arizona. He always got the Arizona short song.
Okay.
He keep Arizona short song.
That's the team.
Yeah. That's the squad. It just seemed like he had a real good rapport with whatever the situation is going on over there. I mean, shout out to Bryce, man. I think he's the one that everybody knows. Okay, yeah. I mean, we Brunny, but we've all known,
right?
Bryce was, the guy. He's taller than Brunny. Skill set is much better than Brunny. So yeah, shout out to Bryce, man. Good job, Bryce.
Yeah. So what up? Jacob says how long? I don't know.
We know we're gonna be one and done. We know that.
It should be one. He got to play with his pops.
Yeah, he got to play with his pops. Yeah.
But I will say this, Jacob. If it was one that was going to make it, regardless, he was the one. I like Bronny too, and Bronny was coming. Bronny had a good game before he had the tragic situation with his heart and everything. But Bryce was the guy that you saw he was better than his brother. Like he was the one that was like, okay,
oh yeah, leaps and bounds.
He's gonna be in the NBA for real. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to Bryce, man. And then last but not least, Arizona State extends head coach Kenny Dillingham for 5 more years. After today's game, I see why. I mean, you saw why for the season too, but after today's game, man, that was good. So I'm happy for him, and I believe that he should he should get this deal. Man. He should get this deal. He should have got this deal. So and that wraps up quick hits. Hey man, let's get to this hot topic. And the hot topic is, of course, Saquon Barkley was going for a record. I had a chance to break this record, but Coach Nick Sirianni came out and said, nope, we're resting the players for the playoffs, which I understand. Let me say this quickly, and I'll let you say what you got to say. As stated, some people told me, and we were talking about it, I think Danny Thompson even said this. They hadn't had a week. I haven't had a bye since week 5.
Right.
So this is probably needed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you don't get the you don't get the first round bye. So because of that, so they pulling our shots today, huh? Start new year off with shots. But with you don't get a bye. So because they locked in for number 2. So I understand it for that point, but man, I don't know, Mace. I'm like playing for a half or something. But go ahead, man. Tell me what you think.
I mean, I think a lot of this is Saquon, but we've seen it time and time again, like maybe 2 or 3 times this year, where he could have continued to get carries, but he was like, nah, let somebody else go.
Right.
You know, so he could have technically broken the record weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. True.
I just think this type guy he is. I also think that because everybody makes such a big deal in the 24-hour news cycle, OJ did it in 14 games. ED did it in 16 games. So now you're giving Saquon an extra game. I just think Saquon just comes off as a type of guy that don't really matter. I mean, I ran for 2 bills. I mean, yeah, we know. And I mean, it would have been poetic justice to see him break it against the Giants. Would have been excellent poetic justice, but Saquon sees the big picture. He like, I go out there, I'm chasing the record. What if I get hurt? And it's possible. What if them guys out there gunning for me? Like, they don't want me to get the record against them. So cheap shot here. Yeah, I mean, just so many different things. I understand, because I think Philadelphia looking at their squad and they feel like this is a team that can make a deep run in these playoffs. So you can't do it without a healthy Saquon. So let's get our guy ultimate team game. We're not chasing the record. We're going for a Super Bowl. So I understand it.
Yeah, I understand it.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I mean,
well, okay, right, and I'm with you. I don't
like it, but
because you know why? Because this is not an Eagles rushing record. This is not it's not even a record as far as all right, he's going to have the most catches in the NFL, because that's going to be broken next year, 5 years from now. This is a record that probably, first of all, we probably thought would never be broken. So that lets you know records are, meant to be broken. But at the same time, I still think if he broke it this year, it would never be duplicated again. Unless they change it back to, all right, we're going back to a run-in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I just can't see the league going back to that. So this is why I'm like, let's go ahead and break it. I mean, so I'll answer this. Jacob says, remember this, Dickerson didn't want him to break the record because being the all-time season leader in yards is Dickerson bread. Right. Gastineau confronted Favre over the Strahan sack record. They didn't make a ton as pro, and their pension is nothing, so they need to keep making money. Whatever. I hear you, but forget that. I understand it, Jacob. I do understand it from Dickerson and Mark Gastineau. Like, I've actually talked to Eric this year, like face to face, laughing, and he don't even watch football. He don't even watch the NFL. Yeah. But he's like, the only record he wanted, and it wasn't even this record when he first did. He said the record he wanted was the rookie record when he broke over Marcus Allen, because Marcus Allen said when he first met Marcus Allen acted like he was nothing. Right. That's what he was telling us. He said that was the one he wanted. It's cool now. He said, but as a rookie, that's how he felt. But he wanted that one. But he do want records. Eric likes records. Shout out to Eric ED. But at the same time, this is where I feel. What up, Vince? And Happy New Year, sir. But I feel like still, like I was saying, this is a record that probably won't be broken. And just like you said, just in that passage, or what you just stated, Jacob, Saquon might feel like that as well, because Saquon, it's not a guarantee they're going to win the Super Bowl. And then he might feel like that as well, as far as 10, 15 years from now, if it is threatened. Why would I want somebody to break this record? Because this is my record. I mean, he don't have any other record. At least
Right.
AD got the rookie, or had the rookie rushing record. I think he still got it.
I think he still got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think ED. I think what's my guy name? That came from Miami. Hurricanes played with Indiana. I'm looking dead at him. Edgerrin James. I don't know if he has it or got close to it, but either or. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, at least let him play a half, man. Let's see if he can get it. Because here's the thing, and I understand I'm not getting hurt. But of course, this is why we all love Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's like, look, we playing.
Yeah.
And we're going to play. We're going to play a regular game. We're not going to look at that as what if we get hurt. No, we're just going to play and play. And I do agree. It's kind of like my brother used to always tell me, I know you know this, you are a receiver. You worried about getting hit and getting hurt. If you don't catch the ball, you're going to get hurt more if you don't try to catch the ball.
Yeah.
You catch the ball, you know what I'm saying? But if you scared to catch the ball, you probably going to get hurt because you're trying not to get hurt.
Yeah. Gonna get hit anyway. Gonna get hit anyway.
Right. But at the same time, I do understand as far as let's rest them more so than getting them hurt. Let's rest them. So it's like, I get it. I do. I just wanted him to get this record. Saquon would never have to worry about adding to his bank accounts in retirement. Everything he will have is investments. He got money too. Trust me. he got money too. Now, Gassino, I don't know, but I'm just saying. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, it would be nice to see it done. But I mean, I get it.
I get it. Like I said, I get it. I get it. I was shocked when I saw it because I thought Sirianni was going. And like you said, it might have came from Saquon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably sure it came from. I'm pretty sure they would have asked him, "Do you want the record?" And I mean, like I say, he's mic'd up saying, because he was away from the single game rushing record. He was like,
Eagles,
nah.
For the Eagles, right?
Yeah, I'm good. Nah,
but that's still like that's the Eagles, though. I mean, what was the record? The record was probably 123 yards rushing. On the Eagles, I mean,
more than
who Sherman? What was it? I forgot
it was more than that. But I mean, he could. I mean, if it's, I know 3 games that he basically didn't play the fourth quarter.
Right.
So those are games. I mean, if you just, 3 games divided into them 100 yards, I mean, he could have picked up them yards. He could have already had it.
No, you're right. I agree.
He could have had a 14, 15 games. So, I mean.
So is it a record that you believe that won't be broken?
Jerry Rice.
How's this?
Jerry Rice.
Which one?
Catches. Yards. Touchdowns. Nobody. Because these guys just aren't going to play long enough to catch Jerry. They just not. These guys get 4 or 5 years. They get 2 contracts. They done. They like, it don't mean as much to me. You know, the longevity that Jerry had. You know, we kind of thought, okay, T.O. might threaten it. Randy Moss might threaten it. You look at all these guys now, you're like, I don't see a guy who can, just give us the consistency that Jerry gave us and can break all those records.
Only one I think that has a consistency that could do it, and he shows that he loves football that much, and he takes care of himself like that. As far as he really works out, I mean, he might weigh 110 pounds, but it's JJ, from Minnesota. So I think Justin Jefferson is the only one that
he's so Hollywood at some point, and he's already kind of said that, listen, I'm only gonna play this game for this amount of years. He's already said that, so I just don't see what these guys, and they because they make so much money now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one, Jacob. They make so much money now that they don't have to play 10, 15 years. A lot of these guys are already thinking about their second career.
Right.
They already know what that is. They like, listen, I'm gonna do 10. I done got 2 deals. Hey man, I'm set. I'm set. Like, I'm not gonna keep taking these shots. I'm good. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy that. Wait, who has a single season sack record now? Anybody in the chat room know? Is it still? Who was it? Watt that broke it?
I think it was JJ Watt.
or was it TJ? One of them Watt brothers.
Yeah, a Watt has it, but
Right.
I mean,
Now I do think that's going to be broken because you get more passing plays. Now just to think about it, back then they weren't even passing like that.
yeah.
And and Strahan broke it, but like I said, Jerry, I kind of agree though. Jerry, yeah, I think it's Watt, Jacob, but like you said, Jerry's record, but definitely that rushing record. We won't see that. I can't see us seeing that again.
Nah, I mean, again, these guys just don't play long enough. What we say, average, the running back, especially running back. I mean, 7 years. They lucky to get 7. I mean, usually 5, and especially when they turn 30, they tell you all the time. As soon as the running back turn 30, they go get another one.
Yeah,
go get another one.
Shoot, at this point, when you turn 26, is that? Hey, we need another one for next year because we got 27. It's a wrap. You consider old.
Yeah.
And you think about that's what makes it crazy when you think about Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. Barry Sanders was in his 10th year, and Barry Sanders never had, I think, his least amount of yards was like 1,360 something.
Yeah.
And that might have been the second year, but his last year he had over 1,400 yards. His 10th year he had over 1,400 yards. He never had a season under 13. His 10th year he had over 1,400 yards.
Yeah, but that was also it was still like the bell cow era. You know what I'm saying? Where you had one back, you have a third down back.
Right.
Your guy was your guy. You spelled him.
Right.
His backup might get 5 carries, but for the most part, your guy was gonna get 25 to 30 carries a game.
And honestly, Barry wasn't even getting that many carries. Barry averaged 19 carries a game. Yeah, like everybody was mad at him at Fonts for that. And in his 9th year, he had over 2,000 yards. That's sick, but either or. But like you said, I agree. I understand it. It makes sense. Selfish reasons, yeah, I wanted him to go for it. But at the same time, going back to what Jacob said, hey, the fact that ED is still relevant, ED is funny. And the fact that ED is still going to be relevant in NFL, that's good. I want him like that. Jacob said there's more Watts in the NFL than Christian radio stations in Tennessee. Yeah, that's about. You ain't lying. So about to be more men that ever played in the NFL, more than that. So, but all right, man. We're gonna take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, y'all. We're gonna got a New Year's present, I guess. An early edition of Ask a Doc with Dr. Donald Fowler III. So before we get to him, we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be right back. Actually, you know what, Doc? We're gonna bring you on, man. We're gonna play a commercial a little later, bro. We're gonna come on. We're gonna bring you on. We're not gonna hold you any longer. What's going on, Doc?
How we doing, guys?
First of all, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Doc is feeling all right because his Washington Commanders are in the playoffs.
Nice.
And
they in.
All the way in. Doc, how does that feel?
It feels weird. It's kind of, you don't, as a Washington fan, you don't think it's real. So, I mean, I think we were in the playoffs like 4 years ago, I think 2020. But I mean, our last playoff win, I think, is 2005. It's been almost 20 years since we've even won a playoff game. So, I mean, again, just any good news we'll take. And I don't know, hopefully this will kind of, we're like the Lions like a year or two ago, where it's kind of like, oh, we've been horrid for so long, and now we're going to be that fun team that's going to keep getting better and better and reestablish themselves as a legitimate franchise. But we'll see, one year at a time.
Yeah. So we got to start with Joe Burrow. He was limited in practice with a right wrist and knee injury. Let's be real though. Is there any reason he wouldn't play?
Well, if they were already out of the playoffs, maybe, but they still got at what? I think they said it's like a 15% chance when they crunch the numbers. Obviously, they need a Patrick Mahomes-less Chiefs team to beat the Broncos, which is probably a stretch. And
Right.
also Miami with the Tua-less, probably Tua-less. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
That Dolphins team to lose as well, but I don't think their chances are great, but there's still a chance. I think he's going to go out there and ball out. He's been on the injury report earlier in the season for the same things, so I think it's just load management. But I don't see any reason he's not going to be out there.
Okay, because usually they'll say he's like, he's dealing with it, but he'll practice. Well, this time, like that said that he was limited, so that's where it was like, okay, like you said, maybe they're just let's just use load management. It's funny we're using that in football now, but yeah, that's right. So go ahead, Mace.
Doc, you brought up Tua, him and this hip. They do have an outside shot of getting in the playoffs, limited in practice. What are his odds, Doc? I mean, again, they say anybody can run this offense, but the offense just don't look the same without Tua in it. But what's the probability of us seeing Tua this weekend?
Yeah, I think less than Burrow. Obviously, he didn't play last week, and I think it's concerning. They say it's not technically in the same place or related to the bad hip. It's the same hip that he fractured and dislocated when he was at Alabama, which is a serious injury. But they claim it. He said it's in a different area, meaning I don't know if he has a labral tear or some smaller soft tissue type hip injury. Obviously, it was bad enough. Last week was a must win, and he didn't play. So I guess it kind of depends on his mobility. I mean, they did okay against Cleveland. I think who they got, the Jets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Who, I mean.
The lowly Jets.
They look like a dumpster fire against the Bills, and I get. Are they even putting Rodgers out there one more time?
Yeah.
As far as this is his last hurrah.
Yeah, he still needs to get that 500th touchdown pass, right?
Yeah,
he's one short.
Still need it in his life. Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't be. It'll probably come down to game time. You need to plug in to see if he's there. But again, I think it's a real possibility that he doesn't play.
What about Aaron Jones? He's dealing with a quad injury, and they have a big game coming up.
Yeah.
He hurt it. I think he came back in the game last. Was it when they played it? Who they play against? They played against. I can't remember who they played against. Green Bay. Green Bay.
No, I think he'll play. I mean, a quad contusion is it's just a bruise. But I mean, if your quad is bruised, it's hard to even just extend your knee, let alone run. So it's just a mobility thing. He's not at risk for any long-term injury, anything like that. So assuming that they get him mobile and comfortable enough, I don't see any reason he won't be out there. And obviously, I don't know if there's ever been a game like that with two. I mean, I know we're in a 17-game season, which is somewhat new, but 2 14-2 teams like the last week of the season, and you're either the 1 seed and get a bye, or you're the 5 seed and going on the road. That's huge. I mean, that's a big deal. So So he's going to be out there. Let's put it that way. I don't see him not being out there for a game of that magnitude.
Now, Doc, you're the expert, the medical expert on our show. So, Saquon Barkley, in your professional medical opinion, would you run him out there to break the record, or would you err on the side of, hey, I want you healthy for the playoffs? What your thoughts, Doc?
I mean, I would talk to Saquon personally. If it was me, I would talk to Saquon. And honestly, there was a clip in different circumstances earlier in the year where he needed he had 190 rushing yards and needed 20 more to set like the franchise record for like a single game. And he was like, nah, I'm good. Let the young dogs eat kind of thing. So, I mean, I feel like he's level-headed enough and understands the bigger picture from that. So assuming that Saquon's okay with it and gets it, I would rest him. He's obviously taken on a big load this year. And if you want to win a Super Bowl, to me, why would you risk him getting hurt? I know it's great to have your name in the record books. I know you guys were talking earlier, there could be an asterisk with extra game, but then, I mean, ED's record.
Right.
I think Doc froze for a second. Go ahead, Doc.
Sorry. So yeah, OJ, broke 2014 games. ED did it in 16. So I mean, it's different. There'd be a little whatever asterisk by it, but I don't know. I would rest him, make sure your team's healthy. You're already struggling at the quarterback position in Philly. Last thing you want to do is jeopardize the running back position too.
It's just that game has so many headlines in it, especially like you stated, Mace, with the he can't get GM. What do you get 2,000 yards or something? Like it would just be perfect. It would be.
Let's say he already has. I mean, he has the 2016 games, so I feel like I think you can hang your hat on that and be proud of that.
But to stick it to the Giants after that clip to get the rushing record, you know how? What?
Yeah, but
pettiness. The pettiness in that. But go ahead.
But if he tears an ACL, then it's kind of just like he threw his career down the rest of his career down the drain for I mean, for a record. I get it. It's a big record.
I will say this. Now you can answer this. Am I right? Maybe I'm wrong. If he tears his ACL in this game, wouldn't it be more likely if he don't do it, he might tear it in the next game? If I'm gonna tear the ACL, I want this record there. But go ahead. All right.
Why not get into the record if he tears his ACL?
Right. Yeah, I know, right. Forget I said that. But anyway.
I would rest him. He's had an awesome season and I get it. And if it still meant something, then I feel like you don't have a choice, but they're locked in the 2 seed. So if it were me, I would rest him, but I would still talk to him and make sure he'd be good with that decision.
I agree. All right, Doc. Whew, I know, right? The fact that we're talking about this is great, but we appreciate it, Doc. So I guess we could do these picks real quick. I didn't get Mason's picks, but Mason give it to us now.
I'm gonna give them to you right now, yeah.
But what we're gonna do, we're just gonna do the 2 games that matters. Okay, we're not gonna worry about the other ones because Jacksonville, Indy. I mean, as far as on the show, we're not gonna talk about that on the show. That nobody cares about Jacksonville, Indy. I mean, I'm sorry, nobody.
You still need your 2 additional opportunities to catch me. I get it. So.
Indy messed up my parlay last week. They cost me money last week.
I'm one behind you, Doc. I gained one last week.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why you need all 4 games. Right. You don't want to just have 2 games. So.
Yeah. No, yeah. We're going to do 4, but yeah, we're just going to talk about 2 on here. So, Doc, we're going to start with you. It's a Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game.
Yeah. So I'm picking Cincy partially. Well, one, I mean, they've been hot. Certainly the Steelers have looked like I don't know. Some people have been throwing around the word fraud a little bit lately, but they've played good teams, good competition the last few weeks. But I think that Baltimore is going to win the game on Saturday at 4:30 before they even play at 8:00, clinch the division, and the Steelers aren't really going to have much to play for at that point, whereas the Bengals obviously still have to win and wait to see what happens on Sunday. Yeah. So with all that being said, with I think the Bengals having more on the line, them playing better even I know it's on the road and in Pittsburgh, I'm going to take the Bengals.
Go ahead, Mace.
I agree. I don't know if you guys are watching on HBO Max.
I didn't watch it this week.
Hard Knocks, the AFC North. Just the competition in this division is just so crazy. The characters in this division. But yeah, I mean, even though So Russ is super corny. I got to just put that out. Russ is super corny. Super corny. And Russ also know when the camera rolling too. He really knows when the camera.
Yeah, he does.
The camera. But yeah, I like Pittsburgh in this game as well. I mean,
no, I'm going Cincy. So you're saying you want?
Yeah, you going Cincy. So I'm going Pittsburgh. Cincy. Yeah, okay. I'm going Pittsburgh just because Russ is corny. Russ is a cornball, and the one thing Russ want to do is send Cincy home. He want to go ahead and we don't even want them in the playoffs because we might see them again. So give me Pittsburgh. Give me corny Russ and let Russ cook.
Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh. This is a big game, but the main reason when you look at the division and you look at Cincinnati and what Pittsburgh has done, the main reason is I'm going with Pittsburgh because Doc went with Cincy. So I got to go Pittsburgh. That's the only reason. I got to catch up. Doc, so I'm going Pittsburgh. Now, I honestly do think Cincy's probably going to win this because Cincy, both of them have a lot to play for because Pittsburgh went that home game. Cincy's trying to get in, but Cincy's been hot lately, man. And the way Russ them has been playing, and yeah, but hey, this is the right time to get your game right against Cincy because that defense still is horrible. The way Bo Nix went through them, yeah. So I'm going Pittsburgh, and then the last game we're going to do, Mace, I'm going to let you start off. We got the big game, Minnesota traveling to Detroit. Who you got, Mace?
Going with Detroit. Only really because it's a home game. Everybody just keeps waiting on Sam Darnold to turn back into that Sam. I don't think he's that Sam Darnold. But because this game is in Detroit, I think Jameson Williams is going to be the X factor in this game. That guy can just freaking fly.
Ooh, yes.
Jesus Christ, why he's so fast. But yeah, only because this game is in the 3-1-3, I'm taking Detroit. Only because it's in the 3-1-3.
Minnesota's been that team that no one's believed in them all season. They
don't believe in Sam Darnold.
Or
Sam Darnold they don't believe in.
Or they don't believe in Sam Darnold. And he has proven, except for the game when they played against the Rams early in the season, or I forgot what game it was, but he didn't have a particularly good game. But for the most part, every game since he's bought out. I've said this, and I'll say this, and I'll leave it alone. Same with Jameis Winston. I'm not Jameis Winston. With Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield. You can get a quarterback and put him in the wrong situation with no weapons, nothing around him, bad coaches. He's going to fail. He's going to fail. Remember, this guy was he number one pick? So, I mean, he was good. Now you have a lot of buzz, but he was good. And then now you give him weapons, a great offensive coach. Look what he's doing now. He's balling.
Dog,
and it's not like
systems matter, dog.
It does. Matter. Systems and weapons. Yeah, it does. So I'm going Minnesota, man. Everybody's doubted them so far. Minnesota's defense is tough. They have a great running game and great wide receivers. So I just think they're the only team in the division that could beat Detroit. So I'm going Minnesota.
Yeah, I want Detroit, similar to Mace, just more so being at home. Minnesota continues to win games, and it's tough to felt like they had that game locked up against Green Bay, and then suddenly they were
here come Green Bay
hanging on by a thread kind of thing. So I mean, I like Minnesota's defense better than Detroit's at this point with the injuries, obviously, that they've had. I like Detroit's offense still better than I like Minnesota's, even though certainly Minnesota's had a great offense, in my opinion, with behind Darnold and obviously Jefferson and Addison and Aaron Jones and all those guys. But I'd give it a little more to Detroit, kind of at home in the 3-1-3, as May said. But I think it's going to be a hell of a game with so much on the line. I'm excited to watch that one.
Yeah, great to be a Sunday night game as well, too. Well, all right, Doc, we definitely appreciate you. And hey, man, like always, have a Great New Year, Happy New Year, and have a great week, man. We'll see you next week.
2025, dog.
Wait.
Yeah, no. Oh, I was gonna say, Mace.
Go ahead.
No, I was also gonna say to the very first thing you said, Mace. I'm just really glad we pulled that game out against the Falcons because I did not want to have to go into Dallas this weekend, even without Dak and without CD, having to win a must-win game. Having to win a must-win game in Dallas, where again you guys already got us once, throw the records out kind of thing.
Right.
I'm so glad. I know we're still playing for seeding, but I did not want to go in there having to win or go home kind of situation.
I agree with you because only the Dallas Cowboys, the true Dallas Cowboy fashion, would all of a sudden get up to play that game. Like, dude, what are y'all doing? You messing up the draft, man.
Right.
Keep losing. Yeah. We should have lost to Tampa Bay. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm. All right, Doc. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys.
All right, Doc.
All right, bro. Before we get back to the NFL, y'all, I still stay because y'all might learn something. This is gonna be interesting. I want to get to this college football. Mace. First of all, well, we're talking about are the playoffs, college football playoffs, has it been expected of what you thought was going to happen?
A little predictable. Because I always just say this all the time. Football, especially college football, Jimmy's and Joe's, size, speed, and strength is everything. I just thought about, anybody who would listen, I just kept telling everybody like this Boise game, like Penn State was just gonna slap Boise. They were gonna cover all these good things. People are like, "How you crazy?" I'm like, listen, it's good a back in Genty, and Genty showed that he's a very good back. Just hadn't played a team with the same size, with the same speed, with just these guys that Penn State had. Like Penn State's defense had basically said all week, dog, he's not breaking no records on us.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Especially after he said what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could tell like those first two hits, he was looking like
right, bro. What is this?
Right. This is what they talking about.
That's what they do.
Now
right.
It's just a different. It's a reason why you guys at Boise and these guys at Penn State. You know what I'm saying? Y'all weight room is this. Their weight room is this. Your nutrition is this. Their nutrition is this. You could really see the size difference when just watching them, like when they walking back to the huddle, and you just like, and just the way Penn State was moving now. Y'all know because I was watching the game, the post, and I'm just sitting there like, James Franklin's such an idiot because, dude, just line up and run at them like they can't. No, and they did it late. They can't tackle your backs. They can't. Their defensive line could not, like, they were on skates.
Right.
They were on skates for pretty much the whole game when Penn State decided to run the football. But football is always going to be bigger team, size, strength, speed. That's what college football is, and we got to see it in pretty much the first two rounds of these games.
Yeah. It's what it was. I mean, we didn't think Boise State, they battled though. They did.
Oh, they did.
They battled. They battled. Yeah, they just couldn't. Penn State is superior. And like I've been saying with Penn State, the only people talk about Franklin can't win the big game. I don't even think it was the fact that they couldn't win a big game. They couldn't beat Ohio State. That's all, because in order to get to a big game, they had to beat Ohio State. They kept losing. So we don't know what they could do besides anybody else, in another stage. It's just like with Ohio State. Ohio State can't beat Michigan, but we know they could go far, and look what they did to Oregon.
They just slapped Oregon.
Man. So I think that Jeremy said that's why Genty didn't win the Heisman. He was planning. Yeah.
Well, I think, Jeremy, it's kind of that, but I just think we've seen Ashton Genty, and we're gonna see more Ashton Gentys. We've never seen Travis Hunter,
Yeah,
and we're never gonna probably see Travis Hunter again because probably outside of Deion, no coach in America is gonna let a guy play that many snaps on both sides of the ball. So shout out to Deion for just having the foresight to understand that. Listen, I'm gonna let him do it. He can do it. We're gonna let him do it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let him do it in the NFL. They not. Everybody keep talking crazy. They're not gonna do it. They might put a package in for him. He's not gonna play in the NFL, everybody. Y'all stop it.
But who was the other game that got blown out? What game was that? It was Boise State. Who else got blown out? And who was the first team in the first round?
That was for first round. Oh, SMU, Penn State, SMU.
Yeah, yeah. So we knew that was happening, but like I said, Oregon, I'm shocked at.
Yeah, kind of
not like that though. Not like that.
Yeah, so, dude, Ohio. Listen, Ohio State, they got like 35 draftable players.
You're right. But dang, Oregon don't. But Mace, but like that, like I mean, like that, no, like that came out.
No, okay, not like that. But
that's what I'm saying.
So when I gamble, especially college football, the first thing I look at who got more NFL players.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I always kind of start.
Right.
Ohio State just got more NFL guys. You look at Ohio State roster, NFL. Look at Oregon roster,
right.
NFL, third, fourth round. So, and Marlon, that's a good band. Dan Lannon just did not have his team prepared today. They look awful.
Hey.
And after Jeremiah Smith gets you one time, I mean, we go on the cover 2 shell, and we what are we doing, defensive coordinator? What are we doing? And Dan Lannon is a defensive guy, so I gotta blame a lot of that on Dan Lannon. So
hey, I'll say this though. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of had a smirk on my face and was kind of like, because I still didn't like how Dan Lannon talked about Deion in Colorado last year. So
when he was the one playing for cliques, he made that see, stuff like that. I always come back to get you.
Come back, dog, don't it?
I always come back to get you.
That's right, Jacob. But shout out to those Arizona State Sun Devils.
Bro. No. We ain't giving them no credit. We ain't giving them that credit. No, let me rephrase that. Yes, they put up a fight. We are looking at Sark real sideways. Sark should have blew these folks out.
True.
His play calling kept letting them in the game. Come on, Sark. What are you doing?
I don't know what he was calling offensively, but I'm just more so impressed by how Arizona State battled back. Because think about it, you still an underdog. Everybody rooting for Texas. Texas is killing. You got more Texas people here. And for the first half to go like it did, you couldn't score. Even in the second half, you drive all the way down, and then you don't score a touchdown. You get stuck. But then the defense.
Well, if they dumb coach would have kept taking the points instead of kept going for fourth down.
You're right.
If they just kick the field goals, they win this game in regulation.
Now look, I will say this though. Arizona State, I tagged you. I don't know if you saw it. Why in the world on 4th and 16, if they hadn't moved the ball on you for the most part of the second half of the game, especially at that point, why in the world would you do an all-out blitz? And then nobody got past the line. Like they didn't do a blitz.
Huh? Yeah, they blocked. I mean, they blocked it up. They knew it was coming. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't have blitzed though. At that point,
I wouldn't have blitzed. I wouldn't have blitzed either.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have blitzed either. But I mean, hey, these are decisions, coaches. I mean, when they get back to Tempe and coach get around watching the film, he gonna be like, like, why did we do that? We probably should have done that. But
yeah, man, I'm like, what are they
Sark,
doing?
Sark should have put these people away in the first half.
Yeah,
He should have put these folks away in the first, and they were helping him try to put themselves away because they coach. I'm like, is Dan Campbell over there advising this dude? They just keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. What's your boy name for the Chargers?
Oh yeah, Boo Boo Staley, Brian. Oh yeah, Coach Staley, Boo Boo Staley.
Right. But yeah, Scatterboo is a beast, man. I've been saying we've been saying that all year.
Oh yeah, he a dog. He a
dog, man.
But it's funny, Raphael, because so many people like I laughed at the number of people. This was their first time seeing him play. Because I mean, we're on the East Coast, Arizona State. A lot of time they play, they kick off at 11 o'clock.
Everybody sleep or partying.
Most of you sleep, but y'all outside.
Partying.
Yeah,
partying or something. Yeah, outside.
Y'all didn't get to see Scatterboo.
Right, but he's a beast, man. He's a warrior. He definitely, I think, raised his stock for this year. For the draft, if he comes.
Oh yeah. Listen, you got to have a player like that, and you see, I mean, he is a football player. He one of them guys that you need. Everybody need a guy like that on their roster because it's like he doing whatever. You know, he's throwing touchdown. I mean, shout out to Scatterboo.
Yeah, man. Shout out. Hey, real quick. So for everybody who said Alabama should get in and all of this, and the committee did them wrong, you go out and lose to Michigan. Mace, what? I'm gonna let you have the floor, dog. This is what you got to say about that, bro.
Just one again, not prepared. So this basically summed up Alabama's season. Mm-hmm. Year one under DeBoer, so many things that he probably needs to change in the program. Milroe, so I mean, these guys just weren't prepared. So I don't know if, and this is the funny part about the bowl game, Raphael. We talk about this a lot. If it's not a playoff game, how much do these kids really want to be there? Yeah, it's a trip. Yeah, we get these nice bags, with all the swag in it or whatever. We it's a nice fun road trip. Milroe was awful. Yeah. And I don't know if Milroe was awful because whatever they worked on all week of practice, like it just didn't come to fruition. Because I'm like, why isn't he running? Like, what are those quarterback runs that you had against LSU? And so this team has kind of been uneven all year, if you think about it. I always go back to that night when they played Oklahoma. You were a 3-touchdown favorite. And you can only muster a field goal against a 6-6 Oklahoma team who was awful.
Right.
Awful. So I think in year one under DeBoer, everybody relax because your man's Nick Saban was 7-4 his first year at Alabama. So everybody relax. We know how it ended. But I think it was a culture shock. I think once DeBoer gets his kind of guys, and once he kind of gets out of this thing or gets everybody out of this Alabama. Yes, it is Alabama, but it's DeBoer's Alabama. It's not Saban's Alabama. Like,
hey, that's the best point I've heard in 2025, dog. That's the best point, dog.
That's what I hate about it, Ralph. That's what I hate about it.
You're right, because it's DeBoer. Like, he needs to get his players. He's not going to beat Nick Saban. He's not going to be that type of coach. He's not going to beat
Nick Saban.
Now, I understand people are like, now what I feel like DeBoer might have to change is, okay, get your players, but still the way you prepare for a game or how you looking at this conference, this is not the Pac-12. It's a different type of animal. It is so every game I don't care who you're playing, you have to be ready every game. But like you said, though, these are not his players yet. These are the people he inherited. Would he keep a? And I think Miro excelled with him. That's why he was able to do what he did because he let him go. But yeah, man, I'm with you, dog, for that. I'm definitely with you, man. So but hey, like I said, we got next week, man. Excited. Well, we got tomorrow still. Let's see how that goes. And just real quick,
You got tomorrow.
How you think it's gonna go? Do you
So again, I was already concerned about Bobo and Gunner. I just,
Georgia ain't played so long. I forgot Gunner was. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. And then this extra day, it builds more anxiety for this young fella as the quarterback. I mean, he's the guy now. Like their hopes and dreams hinge on Gunner and Bobo. And I know, team game, Georgia defense gonna do what they do, but I still think people are not giving Notre Dame the proper respect that they deserve. I think when we just see the names, and we've just gotten so enamored that, oh man, it's Georgia. But this not those Stetson Bennett Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
This team, they have to play a complete football game. Gunner, I mean, I think early on, I think Notre Dame, I think they're going to blitz Gunner. They're going to say, hey, man, this is his first start on this stage. We finna find out, how prepared this guy is. Yeah, he been in college a long time, but this is his first start. So I think Notre Dame going to throw the kitchen sink at him early on. And if he can't handle it, they're going to continue to bring that heat.
Yeah, and Marlon, you're right. Bobo got an extra day. It this time, if you second guessing yourself, you might listen to that second guess because you might be like, you know what? Maybe I might need to change this. You know what I'm saying? And Jacob, you're right. Yeah, this it's going to only add to Kirby's, his legendary success so far. So as far as especially here in Georgia, he's already listed as a legend. So yeah, man. So I agree. All right, man. That wraps up college section. Mace, you got anything on your mind, bro?
I got so much trouble on my mind. Refuse to lose. The biggest thing concerning me, Ralph, I'm gonna be honest with you, with these college football playoffs, just the talk of everybody just, we continue. Did they get it right? Listen, we got 12 because all of you guys kept complaining about the 4. Now we got the 12. Y'all complain about the 12. So what you want, 16? You want 20? All of you guys complain about, oh my God, coaches can leave when they want. So the players should better leave. They let the kids transfer. Y'all mad at that now? Everybody, shut up. All of this is your fault. I told y'all when we were going to extend, it was hard enough to pick 4 teams. Now we got 12, and you don't like the damn 12. So when this TV contract up, they already talking about putting 16. So imagine how hard it is going to be to get 16. And y'all going to be mad about that too. So everybody sit back and just enjoy this stuff. Stop complaining so much. Just live in the moment and understand that, yeah, we all have an opinion, but y'all don't have to tell us y'all opinion every damn 5 minutes because we don't care.
Right.
That's what's on my mind, Ralph.
Hey, I'm with you, dog. I'm with you. We always gonna be mad, dog. And I say we, and I'm not mad, but I'm just saying, as sports fans, we ain't never gonna be happy. This is what's on my mind. What should Raheem, Tommy, and Mark for my daughter? We're gonna get to that, Daddy, in a minute. But look, this is hey, treat it like that trivia questions they used to do on Fox, or CB or Fox with John Madden. As when we about to bring up that segment up, and I want you to give it there. That's funny. But what's on my mind, and I apologize to Jacob, because Jacob, I'm not even directing this towards you, bro. This is what I'm feeling. Okay. So I'm tired, because I seen it today, whether it's Bears fans, people that's just regular fans of the NFL and everything. I'm tired of people saying, see, I told you that Jaden was going to be better than Caleb. I knew he was going to be better. I told you he's a better quarterback. Shut up. And this is why I say that. And we've said this time and time in on this show. Jaden is that dude. No, I think we all believed that when he was getting picked. It was Jaden and Caleb, whatever. But Jaden is set up to win more so than the Bears. Not because of personnel.
He's in a much better situation.
Because of situation and coaching. You got to understand. Cliff Kingsbury knows what he's doing. The first time when Jaden got there, what you like, dog? What you like to do? Dog, what you want to run? Do you want us to run? You comfortable with this? And they implemented it. He took his time to get ready. They start throwing short throws to get him. So therefore, he's getting in the rhythm. But not only that, now you bring up the defense, and now you do what he does best. Throw it deep. You got one-on-one single coverage. And what happens? Touchdown. But you look at Caleb, he's this, he's that. So let me break something down for y'all. This is the thing. Caleb right now, let's look at his rookie year. Caleb in his rookie year, we saw the dumb situations. They were, dumb things, not calling timeout, or the dumb play by the cornerback Stevenson doing a Hail Mary. But he's had an OC fired, not because of him, I'm saying, but he's been through an OC being fired in the middle of the season. Then the OC that took over is okay, look good, but then the head coach gets fired after that, 2 weeks after that. But then the OC that replaced the OC is now the head coach. So now you're bringing another OC. So that's 3 OCs you got already. 3 OCs in one season, a rookie. We're not talking about in 3 years. In one season, you got 3 OCs, new OCs. A guy that looked like he was looking at it like a deer in the headlights as their head coach. And this dude still threw 19 touchdowns, but really still threw only 6 interceptions. And the 6th interception was the last play of the game in desperation to try to get a first down, which I would have been selfish and took the sack. Like, F y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm breaking his record. He was what? He could have he had a chance to break the record with most, as not just for rookies, for all time quarterbacks, for most passes attempted without throwing an intercept. A rookie with 3 different OCs, 2 head coaches in one season. Come on, man. Then not just to add to that, Mace, he's playing for a line is the worst line in the NFL as far as passing, which allowed the most sacks in the NFL. Now, true, he holds the ball sometimes, but he was had nowhere to go, and he was making plays. So my thing is, for what he had to go through, I don't think any rookie quarterback has ever gone through anything like this. But what he has had to go through, and the fact that he still had 19 touchdowns, has 19 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. Shut up. Yeah. That's all I got to say. Because I promise you, the only difference is if Jaden was playing with the Bears, he might have more rushing yards. That's it.
Yeah.
Shoot, dude, would he last?
You can't never stress enough that dude situation. If you don't follow that, we can just go down the list every draft and be like, well, if this guy went there, or if this guy went there, like, dude, sometimes so I say this all the time. It was a blessing that Lamar Jackson stayed in that green room for as long as he did
Right.
and he couldn't have fell into a better situation going to Baltimore. Sometimes where you go, like it dictates your future. You know, dude, look at Sam Darnold right now. Sam Darnold washed out of New York City.
Yep.
Was in San Francisco, was in Carolina. Dude, he has fallen into the perfect situation, dog. He's in the perfect situation. He's with a excellent play caller. And by the way, Kevin O'Connell is that dude clearly when it comes to play calling, developing quarterbacks, all this thing. He's truly a quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, he is.
And if you're Sam Darnold this offseason, I mean, it's gonna be teams that's gonna throw you the bag. You know, they like, hey. But if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm sitting here like it's gonna be hard for me to leave Minnesota. And this play caller and Justin and Addison and just all this stuff they got around me, dude. Give me the Baker deal. Give me 3 years,
Right.
$45 million per. I say right now, I don't need 60 million.
No, I don't.
I'm good here. I'm
Once,
good.
if I mess around and get to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna get the money in endorsements anyway. So I'm good. Let me ask you this though, real quick. Do he take? I mean, if you're Minnesota, do you stick with him or what?
Of course you do. Yes, you stick with him because JJ. I mean, McCarthy is an unknown commodity who's gonna be coming off ACL, so he's gonna probably need another year anyway. No telling where this season gonna go with Darnold, but you just can envision. Okay, in year one, this is what we did. It's gonna be better in this same system.
Yeah, bro.
In year two, and oh, by the way, we can expand this playbook because, like, okay, he got that down. Now let's start unlocking
some of the other stuff. Yeah.
I mean, if we're being honest, look how Kirk Cousins looked in that system as he played in it every year. And he got to the point where, I mean, Kurt throwing 5 bands. He's spraying it all over the place. Dudes, situations, systems, coaching.
Yeah.
And it all matters. Jacob,
it all matters.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So for Caleb to do what he did with all of the stuff he had to deal with, that lets me know that Chicago got them a quarterback. They got them somebody you could say, all right, you know what? We can play with this guy. Now all it is let's get the right coach. That's it. It's that simple. Can you do that? Can the Bears do that? Is McCaskey gonna let? But just get the right coach. That's it. And he get the right coaching staff. You got to go offensive. That's why I want Ben Johnson. You got to go young. You got to, man. You want a young, look like you said, O'Connell. You think of Brady. You think of my guy, and I mean he's still probably like 35, like 40 years old. What's the coach at the Rams?
McVay.
Yeah, he probably like 42 years old. No, when this Joe came in, he was 23. So these young coaches, you want them, but especially for a young quarterback, they got to.
Offensive minded coach. When you draft these quarterbacks, and we always talk about the NFL as a quarterback league, you have to put the best available people around your quarterback to develop them, to develop a system that they can grow in. In New England, I don't think people really understand how crazy it is that Brady was able to play in the same system for basically 20 years. The system never changed. We continue to add on to, no matter who the OC was when the OC changed, it was still the same system. All of those guys ran the same system. So Brady never had to, even if he went through a quote unquote offensive coordinator change, it was still the same system that was put in place.
Now I will say though, Brady's first 3 seasons starting, they were different, but it was, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, because that was still Drew Bledsoe's.
Right.
Bledsoe's team.
Right. And it was because remember the year that, so it was Drew Bledsoe's team, like you said. Then the next year, remember they went, I think that was the year they didn't make it. Remember they was throwing a lot. They was going 4 or 5 wide. Then the next year they went back to running because they got Corey Dillon them. Then after that, then they got, but it was still, but I would say it's still the same verbiage. It's the same, what we, you have that understanding. Yeah, it's just they mix things up because of their personnel, but it's the same system.
But they took it from a Drew Bledsoe because, you gave Drew Bledsoe $100 million. Drew Bledsoe was throwing it all over the field. Mm-hmm. So now we got Brady got this controlled West Coast system guy.
Yeah, and that's what it was. And honestly, just leave it alone. Well, before I do, going back to what Jacob just said, you don't need to win games, but you do that with the right coach. I don't think this whole time, I don't think besides Lovey, I don't think we've seen we had the right coach. Yes, your boy came in. That's the OC for the Chiefs right now. He did come in and he got the Bears 12-4, and he got them to the playoffs twice, but I think he was too stubborn to get better, to deal with he didn't want Justin Fields, so, and he wanted to start Foles, which didn't work. Like he was just he was just stubborn. That was his problem. That was his only problem.
Foles.
Then he was calling the same dumb play anyway. But we need a young, fresh OC that's been successful. That's so hopefully it happens. But speaking of coaching and quarterbacks, them Falcons, bro. So I thought, I'm not gonna lie, for a minute, I thought Eberflus was, I thought he was a whisperer for the Falcons in that game. I mean, with what's the name holding on to them timeouts.
I say treating them things like PT preferred timeout. He gonna roll them over. He gonna roll them. He bringing them back to Atlanta with him. Yeah.
It was can you take a gently used right anymore? So we here, Daddy. So with Morris, first of all, Maceo, I was like, what in the world? I got on social media, was like, bruh, what are you doing? Like, man, I can only imagine how Danny felt and all other Falcons fans felt. But he came back the next day. This is what he said. He said, of course, they asked him about it. This is the press conference afterwards, right? So, of course, they asked him, and he told us, in hindsight, I understand. I understand what you said. I get it. In hindsight, he was like, I would change it. He was like, but this is why we did what we did. And I kind of understand it in a sense. Still think you should have called a timeout, but I understand his thinking. He said in a 2-minute drill like that, when you got a rookie quarterback and you got a team that's, ready to fire off as far as their DNs, when you get a big play like that, instead of calling a timeout, he said, first of all, he thought they could get to the line faster, which they didn't, But he said, right. But he was saying that he was thinking if they go quick, now the DNs, they're not set. It's not, all right, let's go, we can fire off. But then too, with your defense, the safeties have to play 2 back. And now they got to play this zone. You know what I'm saying? And he said the play that we ran, which I don't know if you remember, he said it was open. Remember, Penny just missed Mooney. Remember, he said, so we got what we wanted. We just didn't connect on the play. He said, but I understand why. So I'm going to ask you, Mace, when you hear that, do you understand why they did it after that? But at the same time, like, do you blame, and also do you blame Raheem not just for that loss, but for everything else?
Oh yeah, I definitely blame Raw. I definitely blame Raw. Situational coaching was not going on with this team, and when the team is not prepared, and when a lot of the things that happened in that game happened the way they did, you have to blame the head coach. I mean, everything falls on the head coach. Listen, he's proven week in and week out. You're there. You've been all season. He's a great wordsmith. He gets to the microphone and he's real good on the mic.
Yeah.
But he says a bunch of nothing that don't mean nothing. And it's no way that you can pass the buck or pass the blame, because everything starts and ends with the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Identity of the football team, the in-game decision. Dog, those are your decisions. Those are your decisions. When your team is like, so do you work 2-minute drill? Do you work situational football? Because watching this team the last few weeks, it's clear that you don't.
Right.
Because you've looked, this isn't the first time that you've looked lost in crucial situations. You did it in the first half of this game, and you had your timeouts. You did it at the end of this game, and you still had your timeout. You cannot let 20 seconds run off the clock with a chance to win the football game.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can say that's gonna make me believe, as a season ticket holder, as somebody who covers the team, just whatever, somebody who just bought a jersey last night, that you don't understand situational football. It's clear that you don't. This team at 6-3, when they were high on the hog and they were just the team. The next 4 weeks, that's all on you, Raw. All the decisions are on you. There's nobody else to point to. When I was coaching high school, I remember my head coach used to say this. He had this thing all the time. He was like, "Hey, when I ask for something, I need you to give it to me, because nobody is ever gonna say the offensive coordinator lost this game. The wins and losses attached to my name. That's real.
Yeah.
They're not gonna ever say Jimmy Lake. I mean, you're gonna bring his name up, but the responsibility falls on the head coach. So, Rod, you and your press conferences, you already sound like Dan Quinn. You in year one, and you already sound like Dan Quinn. You real good with them words, but you sound a bunch of nothing.
Yeah. Rod, now he did say, I will give him this. He did say, blame me. It ultimately falls on me. I made, and now he did not, but he did say, somebody asked about the timeouts. He's like, where does the timeout come from? Is it, are you sole person to make timeouts? He's like, no, it's a few of us system. We all, we're talking about it. Should we call timeout, whatever. I wouldn't have said that. I mean, I just wouldn't have said that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not going to make you look good, if that's the truth or not. It's just,
you can't. But Rod, you can't say that.
You can't say that, right? I was
you
like,
can't say that, Rod. But that, you know what that sound like? Sound like one-eyed kids not taking responsibility for what they did.
No, you're right.
It's like with your mama, you and your brother, the only people at home. Pain get broke. I ain't do it. One of y'all did it. Y'all the only people here.
Or not only that. Well, Michael, well, I was trying to tell him, but he went to do this and he didn't. But did you do it? It don't matter. Did you do it? Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Yeah. So Danny, so for y'all that's listening to the podcast, I gotta repeat this. Danny said this man blew a 3-game lead in the division and the tiebreaker in less than the Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphrey's marriage. Hey, but what about Penix, sir? Because I will say I was very impressed with Penix. Penix missed some throws.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
He's a rookie.
This is
throws.
This is second start.
Second start on a Sunday night, a must-win game, and missed some throws. But man, the 2-minute drill, he looked great in the first half, and then the fact that last 2-minute drill, bro, I was so impressed.
When
with
it
him,
mattered, he made the plays that needed to be made in his second start.
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was it was like it was what the fans wanted. I'll say that. But the fans to see that, Falcons fans to see that, okay, we got a quarterback and we got somebody that we know can play a future, and he's young too.
Yeah.
How many times the Falcons to say that? You know,
but
you think
it
of
go
Michael.
back to what I had said all summer. You cannot stress that this just shows the ineptitude of the front office in this organization. You give a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury the contract you gave him, and turn around and still take probably the most NFL-rated quarterback in the draft, and he has to sit and watch for 14 weeks before he gets to play. That's like, winning organizations don't do stuff like that. And this is why the Falcons are always in the boat they in. And I know everybody like, fire Raw. I mean, whatever. But I do feel that Raw is not the coach that's going to get the maximum out of Michael Penix's ability. I just don't. I just don't see it. I think the coach who comes in after Raw is going to be the guy that's going to unlock Michael Penix. I mean, because you're probably going to bring Jimmy Lake back. Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to bring Jimmy Lake and Zach Robinson. We might fire Jimmy Lake, but Zach Robinson, you probably going to bring back another year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this, though. I think that I'm a little, and Danny, if Danny's listening, I'm a little skeptical of them firing Rod this season. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, they're not going to fire him.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to. It might not. If they don't make the playoffs, it might not happen in 2 years. I'm gonna tell you why. Unless they don't make, I don't even see it happening then. I don't know if this happened every year or before I got there, but every press conference, I don't care if it's away or at home. What's his name? Arthur Blank is there, right?
Yeah.
After every
Always
game,
sitting in the corner over there.
Yeah, wins or losses. I don't know. You can tell me. I mean, I know Dan Campbell was there for a minute, but I don't know if this happened to Arthur Smith. But Rod goes to him, and they always hug. He hugs Arthur Blank. He hugs. Is it not McCaskey? The other guy.
McKay.
You know what I'm talking about, huh?
McKay.
Either McKay and who else? The GM, Terry. And then Arthur has Mr. Blanker has his wife or his people there. And he does that. They do that every game. Every game. They hug each other. Like, one thing about Arthur Blank is very loyal, especially to people he likes. He likes Ra. He loves Ra.
Yeah.
I know Jabe Christian said Raheem's a black coach, so odds are he is done. I don't think so in Atlanta. Got to remember, we bring, let's tell the truth to shame the devil. This is probably the only owner in NFL history, which is, I know he's Jewish, but still a white man that would push a black quarterback, have him in a wheelchair and be pushing him around. It's not happening nowhere else but Atlanta with Mr. Blank.
Because Atlanta's not a real place. Atlanta's not a real place, y'all.
Right. So I say that to say he probably would get more years because he is a black coach, and Mr. Blank like him. So it's It's not that tight, but they definitely got a bond, you know, and you could see it. So it's like, I think Terry would be gone before Ra. You know, so they might get fired in the same year if they do, but I think Terry would be gone before and Mr. Blake loved Terry. So I don't see it. That's all I say. Danny says, just get Aaron, Glenn, Detroit, and bring back Zach. Why? I don't see why do y'all like Zach Robinson? What has Zach Robinson done that y'all like? Let's keep him. Now, are you saying because we hadn't seen him coach a young, healthy quarterback? Maybe, but other than that, no. What, Jacob? What are you watching? Jacob says Tomlin has to win every season to stay around. Bruh, you are tripping. No, maybe you being funny. If you are being funny, okay, but no, Tomlin's not going anywhere. Matter of fact, Pittsburgh, the only city I know that the fan base is not saying get rid of the coach when they have a bad season. They're talking about get rid of.
A couple of years ago, they were over Tomlin. They were ready for Tomlin to go.
That was 1 year, but usually they be talking about getting rid of the OC or they big on that. Nah, he's in Pittsburgh. They don't get rid of coaches. I don't care.
Nah, they don't get rid of coaches, but if you listen to Pittsburgh radio,
that one year they were because you know he don't like making adjustments. He don't like making adjustments. But let's get to this, man. MVP race, bro. Maceo, right now we can say it's probably going to be Lamar, Saquon, and Josh Allen.
You can take Saquon out. They don't get Saquon.
No, right. We know that. But as far as how close it is,
yeah.
There's a lot of people saying some people saying they think it's a landslide. I don't.
No, I ain't a landslide. You can close your eyes and just pick it. You pick Lamar or Josh, you won't be wrong. You won't be wrong. Lamar is having another phenomenal season.
Great, excellent.
2-time MVP.
Yes.
But I do think I always think about, and I can't remember who taught me this, but it's always about the story. Josh Allen finally winning his first MVP is going to be a better story than Lamar going back to back. So I just think for that reason, I think they're going to give it to Josh Allen. I think Josh has done. I mean, he's done some Herculean type things. And I just I think with Lamar, everybody's just like, oh, okay, we know he good in the regular season. We know he good in the regular season. He can't win in the playoffs. Now, Josh ain't won nothing in the playoffs either. But it's just people just had this thing when we seen it so many times. I mean, this would be Lamar's, if Lamar was to win, it would be his third MVP. And I think that's going to put so much extra pressure on Lamar. It's like, oh, he's just a regular season quarterback. And until he can win that's the dynamic. I just think this year, the better story is going to be Josh Allen winning his first MVP. And I think that's the only reason that Josh wins it. You can't go wrong with either guy. You can't go wrong with either guy. But I think Josh gets his first one this year.
And they got different reasons, like you said, for that reason alone for Josh, but then also for the fact that because the story makes it good because he put his team on his back. Yes, I know James Cook has like 15 rushing touchdowns, something like that, but it's not like he has. I don't think Cook even has over 1,000 yards rushing. So but Josh has put his team on his back. The big games, he's done it. I mean, the Detroit game, what he did in Detroit, that was like, in Detroit now, and he beat the best two teams in the league.
Yeah.
Okay. So for just that alone, it's like, all right, his stats are still crazy. He has 12 rushing touchdowns, 29, I think, passing touchdowns, or 28. But he does everything. Lamar, what he's doing is ridiculous, dog.
It's crazy.
It's for him to only throw 4 interceptions. He only has 4 interceptions, which is the league. Mind you, Caleb only has 6, and he's a rookie. But anyway, but for him to have 4 interceptions, talking about Caleb. Anyway, 4 interceptions. He has 39 touchdown passes. So his season already is better than his last year MVP.
Right.
And does he don't have 1,000 yards yet, but he has like 800 something rushing yards, right? Which has never been done, what he's doing. The problem is, and he has 45 touchdowns combined. What hurts, I ain't gonna say what hurts him. The thing is why, and he gets it on stats alone. But like we said, Josh gets it because he's the only one there. His wide receiving core, no. In Buffalo.
No.
At least Lamar has dynamic players at the wide receiver position, right? And then you have 1,800 yard.
That's unfair back there. He got me.
That's open up windows, ain't it? That's
unfair.
That's not because now I got windows to see because you pulling 8 to stop the run. I'm sorry, not just to stop the run. You pulling 8 to stop Derrick Henry.
You have to.
You have to. Beforehand, it was all right. We're gonna stop the run because that's all they can do. But no, now you're trying to stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then to me, I still think. So let me ask you this: let's say Saquon run the he gets the record next week. Would you give it to him?
Nah.
I don't know, dog.
Got me, and we've made the MVP a quarterback award.
No, you're right.
It's like we've made the Heisman pretty much a quarterback award.
Right. Right.
I just don't think a running back. I just find it hard to give it to a running back. Especially
because
especially as this season has been, no doubt. But when you look at really truly that Philadelphia team, I mean, is he carrying Philadelphia? I mean, he got Devontae, you got AJ, you got to worry about Jalen, got pretty good tight end. It makes running a little easier for him. Because
I agree.
You can't leave AJ Brown out there one-on-one. I mean, you can't. He will murder your corner, and if Jalen can get the ball, because Jalen's so inaccurate. But that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Special season by Saquon. He'll get some MVP votes, but again, we've turned this into such a quarterback award. It's almost like when you start talking about other games, like, yeah, I play quarterback, man. Who the best? Because when we say who the best quarterback in the NFL, that's usually who the MVP is.
Right. But no, I get it. But I'm just saying, do you think? Because again, by what you're saying, then Lamar shouldn't win it. Because, like you said, because what he got, who he had, that's why. Or should I say, Josh should win it because of he doesn't.
See, to your point, and that's a good point. They're gonna hold that against Lamar because they're gonna be like, "Dog, he got Derrick here, he got King Henry back here who who can run for $2,000 himself,
right?
Next week,
and he almost had it, yeah, right?
He got Zay, he got 2 dogs at tight end and Likely and Andrews. Yeah. Great season for him. I think Josh. I just think Josh Allen is the better story. I think people are gonna be bored if we give it to Lamar the third time. People are like, because they're gonna nitpick it. They're gonna like, but he can't win in the playoffs. He's just a regular season player. And I think for Lamar, I think he probably like, nah, don't give me the MVP, because that's what everybody's gonna say. Yeah, he's a regular season, the best player in the regular season, but when it comes to playoffs, and he kind of kiss about it in his post-game pressers, like, oh yeah, this good. I gotta win in the postseason.
Yeah,
I
he does.
got to win in the postseason, because until I do that,
yep.
I'm never gonna be viewed, because he wants to be viewed like Pat Mahomes.
Right. Because to me, if he was a Super Bowl winner, then he might get this third.
Oh,
He would have got it.
Oh.
He would have got it. But for anybody to say Josh Allen shouldn't get it, I don't know what the hell y'all watching. Y'all can't be watching football. Y'all are tripping. Y'all are tripping. And I just don't understand the logic behind it. Now, if you say, like I said, I don't think I know it's not a landslide. I think it's close. I'm not saying who should win it. I'm not saying, I think each candidate, each person we name has a legitimate reason why they should win it easily. And to me, like I said, with Saquon, if he'd have broke the record, dog, you broke a record in an NFL, in a league where this is a passing league. That just don't happen. Even for Derrick Henry to almost get 2,000, that don't happen. This is, so what the running backs are doing is outstanding. For him to break the single season record, he got to be Cole. He got to be co-MVP. He got to. So do you think they'd give both? You think it'd be co-MVP with Lamar and Josh?
Nah, they're not gonna do that.
They're not gonna do the Brett Favre, because remember Brett Favre got his third one with Barry Sanders. That was some BS right there.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that.
They love Brett Favre though. That's when they was in love with Brett Favre.
Brett Favre, good old Brett Favre.
Yeah, good old Brett Favre. Mahomes is overrated. You know what? I think at this point everybody hate Mahomes at this point.
I can't swear you, and you've heard me say this plenty of times. They love you to hate you. The worst thing you can do out here in this world is be successful. When you're a winner, at some point when you win too much, they turn you into the villain. They got a villain. Remember how everybody loves Steph? They turn on Steph so fast.
But here's the thing.
They ruined the game.
So I understood this. I understand it now, and I never understood this. I remember, and this is a good segue to go where we're about to go. But Mace, I remember, I would never forget it, moving to Atlanta from Chicago. And I was talking to this guy from Atlanta. So I'm like, okay, he's Atlanta Hawk. He's no bias, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can understand if I went to New York or whatever, but even maybe Indiana, but I'm in Atlanta. Okay. And I remember we was talking. I was like, yeah, I'm from Chicago, man. Okay. I was like, yeah, I'm a Bulls fan. So he was like, I hate the Bulls. Bruh, I gave him the most disgusted look. Like, what? You hate the Bulls? Like, why would you hate the Bulls? I mean, I was disgusted, dog. Like, dog, what is it about the Bulls you would hate? I don't get it. They got the greatest player. They got Scottie Pippen does everything. Maybe you don't like Rodman, but Rodman, like,
that's why they hate him.
And he was like, because they win too much. And it was like, but me living in it, I didn't see that like that. Yeah. But I do now, because Mahomes, you kind of want this joker to lose. I ain't gonna lie. I'm tired of going out covering the Super Bowl and every time, and we got to cover this joke and talk. I'm tired of that, dog. Let's get somebody else. I'm tired of talking about Kansas City. I'm just be real. I'm just being honest. That ain't hate. I'm just tired of it. But I get it. I get it, Precious. Everybody feel it. Jeremy says they need to give it to Saquon too. I mean, I don't know, man. I just, like I said, I think this is the closest race we ever had in NFL history. You know what I'm saying? With three guys that legitimate. But I think it should be a code, man. We saw it. We saw it with Steve McNair and Peyton. We definitely saw it with Barry Sanders and Brett Favre. That was so bogus.
Yeah, y'all not gonna use all the use. Y'all not gonna respect the co-MVP. It's gonna give y'all your Twitter fingers gonna be too busy. So they're gonna give it to one guy.
But they needed to. And the funny thing is, I get a vote. I don't know.
They're gonna give it to one
Hey,
guy.
Danny.
Even if it's all tied up, they're gonna say, put both of them names in the hat, pick one. That's the MVP.
Right, Danny.
They're not doing close.
I'm letting Danny and Precious know because y'all got this. Even Jeremy, since he says Saquon, hey, y'all want y'all got to win it so bad. Hey, throw me a little something. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. All right, man. We talked about basketball. I want to segue, man, to the Atlanta Hawks. Are they believable, Mace? 2 or 3 weeks ago, with the NBA Cup, they start winning right before then. They start winning. Okay, we was thinking, okay, maybe they got hot. That's what we was thinking. Maybe they got hot or whatever. But Mace, I'm gonna ask you now that we're seeing it. They're winning. They're beating good teams. Are they believable?
Ralph, this team is believable. This team is believable. I'm tell you why they're believable. Because our superstar, Trae Young, is allowing the game to come to him. He's getting everybody involved before he takes these crazy shots. We're not sitting there on media row like, oh, why Trae do that?
Right.
We're watching other guys flourish. We've watched this team become a true team, and we've watched Trae. We watched Trae mature into this guy who not a me first guy anymore. Mm-hmm. He just lets everything come to him. I mean, 15, around 15, 16, 17 assists a night. And the other night we got the win. He had 12 points, but he had 17 assists. And he talked about how I had to get all my guys involved. We're watching this team get better. We kind of laughed about it when they kind of made it to the Final Four of the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
But they continue just to get. We're watching the evolution of Dyson Daniel. We're watching DeAndre Hunter become this guy. Now we got a Kongu back. This is a very good basketball team that's only going to continue to get better. So yes, this team, buy it. I'm buying this team.
Yeah, you know what the biggest thing is about this team is the fact that you got people now this is what they do. They're okay. So to me, before when you had the Atlanta Hawks, let's say right after they made that run to the Eastern Conference Finals, now I guess it was like then you had like, okay, even with DeJounte, Trae is gonna make Trae is your main scorer. He get assists too, because Trae was always getting assists, but like you said, it's different this year. But still, Trae was the main scorer getting assists, and DeJounte was going to score too and get assists.
Right.
Clint could get rebounds, whatever, but then you had a Congo doing the same thing. You didn't have a small forward that stood out. So everybody was kind of either doing the same thing, or it was more so like it was no specialist. He's good at this, he's good at that. I can depend on him for that, but he can do this over there. He can do that over there, but it wasn't like that. Now look at this team. Trae is getting people involved, right? He's main guy running the show, getting assists. Jalen Johnson, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna score close to 20 a game, but I'm gonna get rebounds.
And I'm
gonna get my rebounds, right? And I play defense. But then you got Dyson Daniels, who's a defender. Now this is your defender. This is the guy. Hey, all y'all need me to do is defend. I'm gonna score too, but when I can, but I'm going to defend. And what does he do? He defends, leading the league in steals, I believe, and This joker didn't even know it was a defensive player of the month.
Right.
I asked him that. He was like, I didn't even know it was defensive player of the month until tonight. They told me I won. But he's your defender. Then you have somebody on the bench that comes in. Bogey was that, but now it's looking like you got somebody in Hunter that can score. So you have that. Then you got 3-point shooters in Garrison and Bogey. So your team is rounding out. And like we've been saying before, it's starting to look like a Quinn Snyder's team. Not because, he's in control. No, it looked like what we saw in Utah. Quinn Snyder, not a lot of superstars, but everybody does this and does that. And so it meshes. I'm with you, dog. This team, and do you remember how in the beginning of the year they kept saying, I remember they were losing, and Jalen Johnson was like, yeah, we really believe we could beat anybody at any time. We can beat anybody. And we looking like, all right, this joker is tripping. He's just saying anything. But they played like he said, and you can see it. And as now you got these results where they beating these teams, man. And even when they're losing, they're not getting blown out. They're barely if they lose, but they're winning close games as well. I like what the Hawks are doing. Like, this is the first team, believe it or not, since I've been covering them, that it's like, I believe in them. Like, not that they're going to win a finals or anything, but it looks real. Whatever they're doing, it looks real.
Look real.
It looks real. So I'm with the Atlanta Hawks. I think the Atlanta Hawks at this point, this is probably the best team Trey's been on. I think he said, well, I don't know if he said it, but he's hinted to it. He hadn't said it. But I think this is the best team that Trae Young has been on. This is the best basketball that Trae has played. Do you think Trae gets in the All-Star game, though?
I think it's finally time. I think it's going to be finally hard to keep him out. Of course, he got in last year because somebody had to go out, so he kind of got in. But honestly, I like when he gets snubbed because he kind of plays with an extra chip on the shoulder. Yep. So, but I think it's time. Yep. I think the way, because it's always been kind of like a rotational type thing. You have to let these guys, certain guys, just like they are locked to get in.
Right.
I think now, because the league is changing, I think now he's one of these guys who we're gonna see Trae a lot in these All-Star games.
So let me ask you about this. What's going on with the Mike? God, I can't think of his name that quick. From Sacramento, Mike.
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. Well done. He got the most normal and common last name. I can't think of his name.
Level.
Right. So, I don't know if you saw when Malone, they asked Malone, Denver's coach, about it, and he said it was a disgrace, and he just walked off, left it like that. Do you think that it was fair for Mike Brown to get fired for what he's done there, and then just of what's going on this year?
We all know the NBA is a players' league.
Yep.
And when your star player doesn't like you and he publicly throws you under the bus every chance he gets, chances are that's a signal that, you probably going to be gone. This is the NBA as it is. We've seen star players get coaches pink slip often. So, this is nothing new. De'Aaron Fox didn't want that man there.
Nope.
They got that man up out of there. We got a guy here in Atlanta who everybody labels as a coach killer. When he didn't like Lloyd Pierce, when he fell out with Nate McMillan, those guys got new job. It's the business of the NBA. Hate it or love it.
Because see,
of the NBA.
I'm with you, Mace, because I thought that it was more so the players than
all the time.
It couldn't have been, because this man has got you to the playoffs twice that you was trying to get to. He's gotten you there, but we saw it. We saw it in Milwaukee. with Griffin. When Giannis wanted Griffin. Hey, speaking of that, why is what's his name? Thanasis? Why is the Joker?
That's your guy. I'm not saying nothing about him. That's your guy.
What you mean?
That's your guy.
Why is he not playing?
You know why he's not playing.
I mean, I know that, but let's be real. Do we really think that Thanasis wasn't going to be off that roster? Like, come on, man. Like, because Giannis, does Doc have that much power to be like, look, yo, we need the spot if y'all want to win. Because I saw him cheering from there. I'm like, why is he on the side? I'm thinking he hurt. Like, why is he on front, court side? But anywho, I'm just wondering. But yeah, man, I think, like you said, I'm with you. I think that it's a players' league. That's what happened. That's what they wanted. And he was forced. But I feel like, to me, I like DeRozan, but I don't think DeRozan fit on that team.
Nah.
Just because you can put points in, that don't mean anything. Now they inserted Monk in the starting lineup. Like, what are we doing? Like, it worked when Monk was your coach. I mean, Monk was your sixth man. I don't get it. I don't know. But Mace, before we go, bro, I have to ask you this. I want you all who's watching to play along. Y'all can comment and everything. Y'all know how we do. Usually, we got to put something in at the end of the show. Make you think. So this is the question today. If you had a chance, what major sporting event would you, that you didn't have a chance to go watch or didn't have a chance to be able to see because of you weren't born or you were too young to understand, that you say, I wish I could have been there?
It's easy for me.
Okay.
Because I had to hear about it my whole life. Saw numerous replays. Got to
Matter
talk.
of fact, we're gonna do like we do. We're gonna do you can do 2 or 3 sports, but just do the first sport first. Who you got?
Baseball. And because our families are so close. Hank Aaron breaking the record. I would have loved to be sitting inside Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Right.
When he broke the record. I mean, to hear about it, to hear him talk about it. His mom, his daughter and my mom, they like best friends. Shout out to Gail. She's my godmother. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to just be sitting in Fulton County Stadium to hear all the things he was going through leading up to him breaking the record, the death threats, he couldn't leave the house. They had to have police around his house 24/7. To be part of a moment like that, I would have loved to just be sitting in the stadium as an older, at where I would have known what was going on. Would have loved to been there. That's one that I've always said, I wish I could have been there that night.
I agree with that because that was was very dope and monumental and all that. My moment, go to boxing. If I could have been able to see the Rumble in the Jungle and been alive for that, that right there, bro. Because even when I watch it now, it gives you chills. But the fact that what was going on with Muhammad Ali and he had lost to not Buster Douglas, but God, I can't think of his name. I can't think of nobody's name right now. But from Philadelphia, the fighter. That who Joe Frazier.
Yeah, Joe Frazier. Smoking Joe.
Yeah, and then you see this young guy that was beating up everybody. You know what I'm saying? This young guy, George Foreman, knocking everybody down, and he looked scary. And, I mean, he was probably back then the Mike Tyson version of that year, of back then. You know what I'm saying? You see this guy with that much power, and he's young. You got Muhammad Ali, who I probably would have been a fan of just because of not just what he did and what he stood for, but then because I'm the type, I like brashful type fighters, and he brashful, and I would have loved Muhammad Ali. Then everybody hated him too. He would have been my favorite boxer, you know. And for somebody to say he had no chance, and to go and watch how all that played out, how he was doing a rope a dope and he took it and all that, talking to him, then he came. Bro, I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have been alive for that, dog. That right there would have been like I call it. These are what I call also. We could have worded as what you could have watched, or what would have went crazy on social media. Because that would have, what you talking about would have been crazy on social media. Can't you? Oh. That would have broke the internet. What happened with Muhammad Ali and everybody watching?
Yeah.
Because that would have been a primetime fight, which it was. That would have broke the internet. That would have been. I'm gonna tell you another moment. I wish you probably did, but I was too young. I don't even think I was 1 year old. I wasn't even 1 year old yet. I'm just about to. But anyway, and I still think it's one of the most underrated things that happen in sports history that it don't get enough play. Even though it wasn't live, but still. Magic being a rookie, taking over for Kareem. Winning that.
Playing all 5 positions.
Bruh, what?
Yeah.
If I could have been alive for that, I wish I could have been alive to just witness that and been able to understand it.
Yeah.
I still think that's one of the most underrated.
Rookie.
Not most. I think not one of them. I think it is the most underrated sports history or sports, whatever you want to call it, that happened in sport. I think it was as a rookie.
One of the greatest. And you know what always, and I get it. I always feel like Magic's name is not like, why Magic never in the GOAT conversation? Right. Magic was a whole problem out here. And he was like the ultimate winner. Like, that's all he was about. That's all his life was about.
Them jokers went to the finals. The only time they didn't go in the finals in the 80s was 81 and 86. Besides them two, he was in the finals every year. People talk about LeBron, but every year.
Every year. Dude, a rookie having to go in for, at the time, was the best player in the NBA, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah.
You got another event?
What a time. So this one, I wish I was older. I had a better understanding. It would still broke my heart, but I would have loved to have been there. The catch. Joe Montana's White Claw.
Right. Yeah.
And so this taught me. You know, I was real young.
Right.
But this taught me the same thing that makes you laugh will make you cry. Because the week before, we were in Ford County Stadium. We were in Ford County Stadium. Roger Staubach, who was my favorite football player of all time, got hurt. Danny White comes in.
Danny White.
And I'm sitting here like, what is our punter going in at quarterback?
Number 11. But go ahead.
Danny White engineers this comeback drive against the Falcons. So me and my dad, because we Cowboy fans, my mom was so upset we wrote home. I never forget this. Me and my dad, we just cracking jokes. We just, my mama was sick about this game because that was the year the Falcons probably won Super Bowl. They went to Super Bowl and won Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. They were that good that year. The Grits Blitz, Steve Barkowski, they were that good that year. The very next week, and I still to this day say Joe Montana was throwing that ball away. Ain't no way in the hell he thought White Claw was going to be running that back. And I'm still mad at him. I told Everson Walls this to his face. I'm still mad at him. when Dwight Clark makes that catch, if y'all could have seen the tears come down my eyes as a Jet.
I get it, dog.
I was so sick. I didn't go to school for like 2 days. Like as a young, I couldn't get out the bed. It hurt me that bad. And my mama just rubbed my mama's super petty. That's why I get my petty. Mama super petty. She said, "Nah, you gonna get up today. Remember last week? You and your dad? Yeah." Oh, I was so sick.
So your father was a Dallas Cowboys fan also? So that's what made you
my dad and my granddad, Cowboy fans.
Yeah, wow.
Big time Cowboy fan. So my dad went to college in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So he raised us to be Cowboy fans. My brother bucked on it, but dude, I wish I could have been sitting in Candlestick Park. Cause dude, I would have found my way down there to try to fight Joe Montana and Dwight Clark. They ruined my childhood at that time. Right? Oh my God. Yeah, that was a moment I would have loved to like really been there and be in the stadium and feel that thing.
Another one, I'm using the same person, but of course, when Muhammad Ali won his first title, and everybody was against him, and didn't nobody like him. Cassius Clay, and everybody. Remember, he opened him up. When he beat Sonny Liston, like to witness what was going on when he came in, just beating up Sonny Liston. Then Sonny put the little stuff in his eyes, and I wonder what that could have been. I wish I was old enough because I was about to turn 7. I remember it, but I wasn't old enough. I remember the day. I remember what I was doing and everything, but I wasn't old enough to appreciate it. I know you probably were, maybe, when Jordan scored 63.
Oh, yeah.
Just to be.
Yeah.
I remember all the hype, and I remember everybody going crazy. I remember that day. I remember what I was with my mother that day. We were driving. She was running errands. I was with her. I remember going to the house, and my father was watching the game, and but I didn't know I was too young to understand what was going on, mate. Like, I mean, I knew what was going on, but too young to grasp it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just, this guy's just that good, and that's it. They can't stop him. But to really like, this dude is at Boston Garden. You know what I'm saying? This guy is like, and of course, to watch the Boston, I was too young to watch Boston and LA go back and forth with each other, man. Like, so yeah. But it just made me think, man, you know what I'm saying? Just like, oh yeah, the Twitter went crazy at this moment when this happened. Or, but like you said, that's a good one with Hank Aaron hitting that home run. Like, I can only imagine to see that. Oh, and to of course, an immaculate reception.
Man, Franco dropped that ball. He did not catch that football.
Because see, that's why I would have wanted to be alive, because that would have been we'd have been talking about that on a podcast.
He clearly dropped that ball. I told Franco Harris to his face, we were in Miami for the Super Bowl. And this year the Falcons went to Super Bowl and they played Denver.
Yeah.
My god brother was on the team. And so we had been in Miami too long. We was in Miami all week. We were coming out of this spot. Franco Harris was in the alley taking his back way. Him and like 3 other baddest Cuban chicks you probably ever seen in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so my boy Pat said, "Hey man, that look like Franco Harris." I said, "Hey, Franco." I said, "Hey, Franco, you trapped the immaculate reception." He just fell out laughing. He was like, I caught it. I like, "No, you didn't." He said, "You got to be a Cowboy fan."
Yeah.
Fell out laughing, dude. Fell out laughing. He was trying to hurry up and get down the alley because he had them. He had them 3 he was with. He was like, "I ain't got time to be arguing with you about that."
Hey, you remember last year with Jerry Rice's?
Hey, but Oh,
When he bit that corner.
I don't know where Jerry Rice was going, but he was trying to get.
Bro, the way he was like, bro, the way he bit that corner. Well, he was walking fast. I don't know what in that hotel, boy. Like, where Jerry going?
It looked like MVP prime Jerry, like 1994 Jerry Rice.
He was like, yo, the way he bit that corner.
He still had that lean and everything, boy. Like he was running routes. I was like,
bro, when you said that, like the way he bent that corner, like he.
Hey, man. Jerry was full. Hey,
oh man!
I don't know who Jerry Rice was going to meet in Vegas that night.
Hey,
but he had a sense of urgency.
He had a sense of urgency that night.
He had a sense of urgency. That was the most important thing happening at that moment.
And that joker had a little pimp walk with it too.
Yeah.
The way he
nice
was
on with turtleneck.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, dog, he did. Oh boy, that was so funny.
That boy Jerry Rice was on the move. Y'all had to see Jerry. Jerry like one of my idols. So I was happy to see him, but he was just moving so fast, y'all.
Yeah, bro, he came. He came that day. We was at the Radio Row. He got done doing the interview. He was doing an interview. We was over there just looking. I was there. Shout out to my cousin. He was trying to, because my cousin. No, I forgot who he knew that knew Jerry. But either or, he's trying to get to him. So I'm over there, got my camera ready just to talk to him. And Jerry came over there to me, man. After he got done, walked right up to me, Mace. Walked right to me, dog, and shook my hand. I was like, "Oh snap!" Like I ain't gonna lie, I straight fanboy then. Like,
yeah, man, that's the GOAT.
I ain't about to wash my hand today. Like I felt like that, dog. That's the GOAT, dog.
That's the GOAT right there. That's the GOAT.
So at least I've lived to say I've met the GOAT. I've met Jerry Rice. I got to hang out with Lawrence Taylor. That was so dope. That was the dopest. And I've interviewed him more so than holler at him, but still, Deion Sanders, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Prime time,
man. So yeah, man. But all right, fellas, ladies, peoples. Yeah, we got to get up out of here. We had a late start today because of that whack game, but
whack. I'm talking about whack. Really, Oregon? I can't wear no more Oregon gear to the fall again. I got all this Oregon stuff. Can't even wear it.
Ain't wear it, dog.
Nope. Can't even wear it.
But hey, we appreciate everybody. Happy New Year and all of that. But y'all know how we do, man. Like I always say, you hear this music, you already know what it means. It means it's time to let you go. Before we let you go, we have a couple of shout outs, and stay tuned because you might be a part of it. First off, I want to give a shout out to the Almighty God for giving me this platform to do what I do, say what I say, make you all upset, mad, want to give me the stop it button. God, I appreciate it. Thank you for another year as well. Want to thank my road dog, Mace, coming on, man. Mace, what you got to say, dog?
Everybody, 2025. Gratitude this year, everybody. Gratitude. Have a heart of gratitude this season, man.
Yeah.
Love who love you. That's my motto this year. Love who love you. You got to chase it. It ain't for you. Love who love you, everybody.
Hey, good stuff. Also want to shout out to Dr. Donald Fowler III, orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta. We appreciate Doc for coming on. It's family, man. Also want to thank everybody that was in the chat room. I want to thank Jeremy, Steve, Vince, Fantasy Juru. We want to thank Jacob, Precious, Danny Thompson, Marlon. I hope I'm not missing anyone. Hey, I want to shout out to my lovely children, my nieces, nephews, uncles, aunties, cousins, brothers, sisters, grandparents. Hey, man, play cousins. Hey, make sure you love on the ones that love you, like May said. Hey, show them love. Love them while they still can feel it. Love them while they still alive. Hey, man, keep watching these college football playoffs, man.
Yeah, we got one more tomorrow, baby. 4 o'clock.
One more tomorrow. Yeah, 4 o'clock. You got the NFL playoffs about to kick off after next week. You got NBA is heating up. If you like hockey is heating up. The Unrivaled is just around the corner. Baseball is around the corner. Make sure y'all watch sports. Eat good. Drink responsibly. Tonight is the last night I can eat good before I go on this big fast. Man, I got to go on this fast, man. I'm doing this Daniel's fast. And I'm going to do the detox to start it. The end of Daniel's fast for 21 days, dog. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm back in running mode now. It's time. It's go time.
Yeah, it's go time, man. And I'm not doing this because it's the new year. This is just what I do around this time all the time.
Yeah.
We got Super Bowl, and I got to look his best for the Super Bowl, whatever.
No doubt about it.
Anyway, next week, same time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. When you miss me, out, peace. Hold on, Mace. I'm about to end this real quick. We out, y'all holla.